Estoy acá en el Sunset Street Music Festival con una de las bandas que va a tocar hoy a la tarde. Son los chicos de Hotel Diablo en inglés, parecido al español. Estamos con Rick y Alex. Rick es el más alto, Alex el que está acá al lado mío. Y nos van a comentar un poquito de qué se trata esta propuesta. Hi guys, how are you doing?
We're doing good. How you doing?
Excellent. Yeah. Better now that you're here, man, doing the interview with us.
Do you speak Spanish?
No.
I'm working on it.
If I say caca, you will then.
No, I don't know what that means.
No. Okay. Moco.
Nope.
Awesome. Yeah.
We know Diablo.
Diablo.
What is Diablo?
That means devil.
Yeah. Awesome. This is the CD when it was released. This one.
It's actually released worldwide physically September 25th.
Oh, it's gonna be in September.
Yeah, it's already on iTunes and everything, but CD will be in stores in South America.
Okay, people can get it through iTunes right now.
Yeah, right now iTunes, Amazon, anywhere online. Yes.
Oh, okay. How many songs does?
There's 11 songs on there.
The Return of Psycho California.
Return to Psycho California.
To Psycho.
Yes.
Okay. Why the name?
But
That's
kind of psychos, you guys.
No.
Microphone. All right, so here's how it's gonna go. No, I'm just sorry.
Okay.
So basically, the Return of Psycho California. This is our home, and even though there's Psycho Californias all over the world, but this was one for the four of us, and basically it embodies our lifestyles, our lives, all the things we've been through, good or bad. It's all the record, and I think when we wrote the song itself, Psycho California, it seemed to embody the whole record, all the songs, and that's kind of how the title just fell into place.
How did you came to start this project?
Well, Rick and I played we played a band called Adler's Appetite with Steven Adler. I think we actually met a couple years ago during our tour, and we were starting to write with that band, and we'd be in the studio demoing songs, and quite honestly, I'd listen back and say, this is almost too good to use for Adler's Appetite. No disrespect to Steven, but when you put out a music with a guy who's A, famous for being the drummer for Guns N' Roses, and B, famous for being on Dr. Drew's Celebrity Rehab, the music's always going to be a far distant third. So we wanted to sort of use this music with something that would stand on its own musically, and not just put it out with something with that stigma attached to it. So we started writing, and Gilby Clarke got wind that we were working together and offered up his services, and we just kept going in, and it snowballed, and next thing you know, we have a whole record, and labels calling us, and that brings us to here today. Happened very quick. We've been together for a year. That's it.
What was it, 6 shows or so?
We played 6 shows. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, it was a really dream come true, like so fast.
It's one of those things that really, I was talking to Mike, our bass player, about it, and it just, you just let it happen. If it's good, people will feel what you're doing, and it just, things have fallen into place, and there's a lot, good hard rock never goes out of style. That the bands like Buck Cherry will always do well. They're like one of the newer versions of say Kiss or Motley Crue. I mean, that stuff is timeless. And we're not trying to really follow any trends or reinvent the wheel. It's just good hard rock. Les Paul, Sue Marshalls, the guy from GNR producing it. It's a no-brainer, really.
Right. I was almost asking about the sound, but you already described it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think what it is too is we didn't try to shy away from any influences we have, and I think Gilby did a good job of capturing that. And I think why people have been having such a good response to it is that it's real. It's 4 guys just playing rock and roll, not trying to stuff it with fluff and pull the wool over your eyes. We're playing our lives, and I think it's a good feeling to know that from the very beginning we didn't try to be anybody else but ourselves. It's been a pretty good thing.
What did you play before? Because I know you are with Riot and Adler's Appetite,
yeah.
But you?
The other band I have is called Lady Jack, and that's actually how we met Gilby. I went to the studio with Gilby, and we worked on the demos for our LP. And then as soon as we left Adler, got a call, and he's like, "Hey man, we remain really good friends," and he's like, "I'd love to bring you guys in." And it was awesome just watching them play. Gilby's a really great guitar guy, and with all the gear, we really just did it old school. Watching you guys geek out on all the amps and his 1,000 guitar collection. That's pretty cool.
What is about the future? What's going on?
I mean, in the immediate future, we just want to get this thing out and possibly tour on it. We've had some offers to go overseas and some more offers to play here in the States. But right now, really just get this thing out, and we're actually already writing for the next one. Because you put stuff out these days, and people are like, okay, that's great. What else do you have? So we're going to put this thing out. It's already out digitally, obviously, but we're, like to put out something else next year. Do it old school. Like if you look at back in the 70s and 80s, bands would put out an album every year. It wasn't it wasn't just relying on the PR machine to get it going. It was just, here's more, you like that. And with mediums like TuneCore and you don't need to wait for the big machine to spit it out. You can write a song and have it up online a day later for sale if you want to go that route. But no, we're definitely just trying to keep moving forward and put out as much good music as we can.
Good. But about when I talk with people everywhere, I am connected with people in South America. Actually, this interview for South America, Latin America, and Spain. They ask me how is the life in Los Angeles regarding girls. Okay, so how is being a rock star and dealing with girls in
I mean, I wouldn't know because I'm not really a rock star. I'm just a guy that plays in a band. I mean, it's pretty much, people who don't live here and have never been here and only see Los Angeles through the eyes of the Motley Crue behind the music or a Van Halen video. They think it's a certain way, and I think that might have been like that at one time, but right now it's just another city. I mean, there's still obviously a very vibrant music scene, but it's not like what you expect from watching, Sunset Strip in the 80s. It's really a melting pot of music nowadays. It's not what it used to be, and I just moved out here 10 years ago, but there is still something in the air for sure. I mean, there's definitely a vibe.
There's some stuff that isn't shown on TV that when you get here, you're like, what the?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
they didn't.
what?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Listen to our record.
If you listen to that's a good thing. If you do listen to the record, that is basically what it's all about. I mean, I've watched people I've met, and then 3 months later, it's like talking to a different person.
Yeah.
Female, male, doesn't matter. It's like people can come here and just go on a path that they weren't even intending on going on, and then they just get broken down. I think with us, we've gone down those paths. We've gone down pretty much all those paths, and that's kind of what keeps us tight and keeps the writing flowing, because it's not just me writing lyrics or him writing guitar licks. It's everybody in mind. It just comes together that way, and that's, I mean, all around the world, I think everybody loves rock and roll. Here, LA, it's tough, because I think there's so many bands that sometimes it's afraid to really show another band support in a weird way, even though you might like them, but since everybody else is kind of like,
Right.
it's like, but then you go overseas and it's like a different ball game, and that's why we're really stoked that this is coming out worldwide and will be hitting Europe. It's just, it's going hard over there.
So you don't do drugs at all? Drugs?
No, we used to do a lot of drugs.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. Well, that's the funny thing. I was doing another interview earlier.
Wait, with who?
Oh, this she runs a website. Metal.
That crappy website, Metal Sanaz.
Metal Sanaz. No, Metal Sanaz. Yeah. And as I was telling Sanaz earlier today, now that we're, I've been, I don't drink. I used to drink and party like everyone did, but I've seen so many of my friends either get completely addicted or they're no longer with us. So you got to go down a certain path. And now that we've kind of cleared the cobwebs out a little bit, we have all this time on our hands, and it's like we're doing what we actually moved out here originally to do, which is write and record music. You can only sit at the Rainbow and drink fucking Jägermeister for so long till you become that guy, and it's like no one wants to work with you, and it becomes a joke. I mean, if you go, if you look at the guys that are really sustaining a career and going out summer after summer touring and actually coming home with money, they're not doing blow every night. They're not drinking. It's all, it's not, we're all getting older. When you hit 40, if you're still snorting blow at the Rainbow trying to pick up little girls because you're in some fucking band, time to maybe rethink things,
Right.
So
who do you miss? The ones that left because of drugs?
Well, I mean, I played with Janie Lane, who passed away just about a year ago, and that really hit us because, it was like this guy was just, he was one of us. He wasn't, he was always hanging out at the bar. He wasn't like a big, huge gazillionaire rock star. He sold some records and wrote some songs, and he just one day he's gone. I just saw the guy. I just was emailing with him and texting with him, and then he's just gone. And it's just like, it really hit home because it wasn't a big heroin blow. He just drank himself to death, and that could very easily have been one of us, or if things didn't shape up. And the song "What You Do to Me," actually, Rick wrote. I wrote the music to it, and then we were talking about Janie and everyone else that had passed, and that's really where that song came from.
You realize how many friends around you are kind of, I hate to say it, but are headed on that same path. And I remember that we were driving through Laurel Canyon. That was the night Janie passed, and it was like, fuck, this is for real. You're not just reading about somebody in the headlines that you don't know. It's like reading about one of your friends. And it's hard because there's certain people that have nothing but love, and they're not out to hurt anybody, but the whole time they're hurting themselves, and they can't get out of that. And it's a rough thing, and I think, part of the reason maybe all these things have happened is maybe that's why we're sober, like you finally, you see one of your friends go down like that, kind of wakes you up, you know, and
Yeah.
it becomes, it's not a joke anymore. Like, yeah, let's just go get fucked up and see what happens. It's like, dude, you know what can happen, you know?
Yeah.
Well, if you see this, Johnny, we miss you.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, guys. I want to feel like a rock star. I know you are not rock star. You just started 5 minutes ago.
We actually
But-
both work at Target when we're not on tour.
would you like to ask me something, because I feel so nobody. There's something you want to ask me?
How did you get into this?
Please.
Yeah.
How did you get into this today, holding this mic? You know, did you aspire to be a rock
Yes.
star? You did?
Yes.
And what instrument?
I forgot.
Oh,
Thank
so
you.
that career ended pretty quick then?
I'm just gonna be like the guy
No.
you guys go.
I feel like we're on a game show. Like, is there a wheel I can spin?
Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot, brother.
Thank you very much.